Dear students, welcome to this session. In this session, we are going to discuss about monitoring of air pollutants. Monitoring of air pollutants. So, the monitoring of air pollutants is nothing but measurement of the quantity of air pollutants emitted into atmosphere, or the estimation or the measurement of the concentration of air pollutants present in our surrounding air or ambient air is called as monitoring of air pollutants. So monitoring of air pollutants is an exercise of measurement of concentration of air pollutants in ambient air is nothing but monitoring of air pollutants. So the monitoring of air pollutants give the status of air quality of a particular area or of a particular zone. So the monitoring of air pollutants is the most important one, because if we need to know the quality of atmosphere air at a particular area, at that place we need to do monitoring of air pollutants. It means the monitoring of air pollutants we can do in two stages. It means in the monitoring of air pollutants there are two stages are there. First one is the sampling, and next one is the analysis. Sampling is nothing but the collection of polluted air. It means the collection of pollutant air samples near the source or the place or the area where we need to find the air quality. And next one is the analysis is the process done in laboratory. It is a laboratory process. It means after collecting the sample of air, we need to bring the air sample to laboratory. In laboratory we will do some chemical experiments on the sample to estimate the presence of concentration of air pollutants or the particular pollutants in the air sample. So from this we can able to know that how much quantity of air pollutants present in that particular area, or what is the concentration of air pollutants in the area. So then by using that concentration, or by using that the quantity of pollutants in that area, we can state that what is the status of air quality of that particular area. And we know that various kind of particulate matter and various types of gases pollutants are present in our atmosphere. So we no need to do the analysis of each kind of pollutant in our ambient atmosphere, because it means the major, it means the few gases like sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, carbon monoxide. So like that, these are the three gases which can contribute major quantity of air pollution and particulate matter. So coming to in our India, the major contributing, it means the major air pollution contributing air pollutants are particulate matter, and the next one is the sulfur dioxide, and next one is the nitrogen dioxide, and next one is the carbon monoxide. So these are the these are the four types of pollutants which can contribute major quantity of air pollution. So if we analyze, or if we sample these four pollutants, and if we analyze the concentration of these pollutants in ambient air, it is enough to, it means it is enough to state the status of quality of air quality. So these are the concentration of these pollutants will be the indicator of quality of air pollutants, sorry, quality of air. So we can say that these are all the major indicators of air quality in India. So this is the important question that you have to remember. These are the major indicators of air quality in India. What are the indicators? Particulate matter, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, and carbon monoxide. So if we collect the air pollutant, it means pollutant air from near the source or the place wherever we need to know the air quality. After that, after collecting the sample, we need to analyze the concentration of these particular pollutants present in the sample. That's it. So then based on the results, we can conclude that what is the status of quality of that per areas air. That's it. So see, in this session, we are going to see the monitoring of particulate matter. So the particulate matter, also called as SPM. SPM is nothing but standard particulate matter. So standard particulate matter is nothing but PM 2.5 and PM 10. So these are the two standard sizes of particulate matter. So it means these two sizes will give efficient data and also will give efficient result to estimate the quality of air at that particular area. So these are all the two standard sizes of particulate matter which are most usable for the analysis of particulate matter. So the sizes of it means the PM 2.5 is nothing but the particulate matter or the particle whose size is or whose diameter is 2.5 microns is called as PM 2.5, and the particulate matter whose particle size is around 10 microns is called as PM 10. So these two are the SPM or standard particulate matter. Okay, see, in the monitoring of particulate matter, we will do, it means the monitoring of particulate matter we will do with two steps. First one is the sampling of or collection of sampling or collection of particulate matter, and next one is the analysis or measurement of particle size. So measurement of particle size and analysis of part, it means the what is the concentration of the particulate matter. So this thing, these are the two steps involved in the monitoring of standard particulate matter at a particular area. So first one is the sample or collection of the particulate matter, and next one is the measurement of particle size. So in this session, we are going to see the monitoring of particulate matter. Monitoring of standard particulate matter. So in this monitoring of standard particulate matter, first of all, we need to collect the sample. After that, we need to separate the particulate matter from the sample. Sample means air sample. After that, we need to measure the size of the particle matter, and after that we need to measure the concentration of the particulate matter present in the sample. So first of all, we need to know that how to collect the particulate matter from this sample. So we have seen that in previous chapter, we have seen, it means in unit 4, we have seen that various methods to separate the particulate matter from the gas stream. So what are the methods? We have seen that we have seen various methods like gravitational separating chamber, and next one is the impingement separating chamber. It means baffle separator, lower separator. After that, we have seen that cyclone separator. After that, electrostatic precipitator and bag separator. So, and So these are all the various equipment which are used to separate the particulate matter from the air streams. So here also, to collect the particulate matter from the air sample, we are going to use the same techniques. First one is the filtration. Next one is the sedimentation. And third one is the impingement. And next one is the impaction. And next one is the electrostatic precipitation. And next one is the thermal precipitation. So these are the 6 methods which are used to collect the particulate matter from the air samples. So are from the polluted air streams. So in filtration, we will use a filtration process. It means we will filter the particulate matter from the moving air stream by using various filter media like clothes or any clothes or cellulose material or fabric material. And in sedimentation process, we will use gravitational force. It means we will allow the airstream to undergo under the influence of gravity. So when the airstream undergo under the influence of gravity, the particles or the particulate matter present within the pollutant airstream will get settled under the influence of gravity. So then we can collect the particulate matter in this technique. So in impingement also, in impingement we have seen that baffle type separator. It means in baffle type separator we will provide various obstacles to the flow of gas stream. Whenever we provide obstacle to the flow of gas stream, the air can escape from the obstacle, but the particulates or the particles present in the air, they can strike over the obstacle and then they can settle at the bottom. So in impingement we will use that technique. And in impaction we will use various plates which contains number of holes. It means in impaction we will allow the pollutant air stream to move through the plates which contain holes. So it means in this process, in impaction process, we are using that. It means we are allowing the pollutant air to move through the plates, which it means we are allowing the gases or air stream to move through the holes. Whenever it is moving through the holes, the particulate matter will be separated by the holes, or the particulate matter will be deposited within the holes. So then we can collect the particulate matter. So that is the process in impaction we are going to use. Next one is the electrostatic precipitator. So we have already discussed about the electrostatic precipitator. So in this we will provide a strong electromagnetic field. In this we will provide a strong electromagnetic field to separate the particulate matter from the polluted air sample or polluted air stream. So then the collected particulate matter, we can analyze its size and we can analyze its concentration. So in this we will use a strong electromagnetic field. And in thermal precipitation we will provide a strong temperature gradient. Temperature gradient is nothing but the place which contains lots of temperature difference, a large temperature difference. It means in this process we will use we will use two surfaces, one at top and one at bottom. So the top surface contains high temperature, and the bottom one contains low temperature. And whenever air is flowing through this area, means air is flowing through this area, so what happen, automatically air always moves from higher temperature area to low temperature area. So in this case, air will move to the surface which contains low temperature, so then automatically the particles within the air will be deposited on the low temperature surface. So that's it. And here also, in this also, we are going to reduce the velocity of the flow like sedimentation. So whenever we reduce the velocity of the flow like velocity of airflow like sedimentation, what will happen, the particles easily can undergo under the influence of gravity, so then easily they can settle. And here we are providing the temperature difference or temperature gradient to it only for the, it means only to increase the efficiency of the sedimentation. That's it. It is also a kind of sedimentation process. So in this session, we are going to see about all these process. So which are the methods used for the analysis of particulate matter or for the monitoring of standard particulate matter: filtration, sedimentation, impingement, impaction, electrostatic precipitation, thermal precipitation. Welcome. We are going to see about monitoring of standard particulate matter. See, so these are all the contents I'm going to cover in this session: filtration, sedimentation, impingement, impaction, electrostatic precipitation, thermal precipitation. So these are all the methods used. These are all the methods used for the, it means methods of analysis or collection or separation or monitoring of particulate matter. Filtration, sedimentation, impingement, impaction, and electrostatic precipitation. See, first one is the filtration process. Filtration of polluted air is a convenient method to remove particulate matter in it. It filters, it means the filter, it means the unit which is used for filtration process is called as filter. The filters used for this purpose are generally made up of fibrous substances. Fibrous substances means clothes or cellulose materials or fabric. Fabric is nothing but a fibrous material. Okay, now. So these are all the materials generally used for the fabric. Clothes means like a cotton, silk, nylon, all these things. So these are all the generally materials are generally used filter media. So the filters used for this purpose are generally made up of fibrous substances. They have the ability to remove larger particles to fine particles with high efficiency. The instrument used to collect particulate matter of size less than 0.1 microns in size. So as we have already discussed that in bag filters are in filtration process of methods to control particulate matter. So in this process, there will be a large room which is called as bag house or bag filter. In this bag house, there is a manifold at the top, and to that manifold, a number of bags or number of fabric materials, a number of bags, fabric bags or cloth bags are suspended. And in this, from the bottom, the pollutant air is entered inside the chamber. After that, the pollutant air will revolve inside the chamber. So when it is revolving inside the chamber, the bags will be filled by the pollutant air. After once the bags completely filled by the air, after that we will compact the bags by using some compressive force. Once we compact the bags, what will happen? The air filled within the bags will be separated out through the voids or through the pores of the bags, and after that the particulate matter entered within the bags will not be separated out through the pores. So then we can separate or we can collect the particulate matter from the pollutant air. So that is the technique we are going to use in this filtration process. So this is a type of filtration process only. So that's it. After that we can analyze the particulate matter. It means we can measure its size. Means we can measure its size or particle size, or we can also measure its concentration. So that's it. So this is the technique here we are going to see. So they have the ability to remove the larger particles to finer particles with high efficiency. The instrument used to collect the particulate matter of size less than 0.1 micron in size. So in this process, the bag filters or the filtration process can separate the particles whose size is even less than 0.1 microns. So this is about filtration process. Next one is the sedimentation. Here in sedimentation, the air and the particles will undergo under the influence of gravity within a closed chamber. So by reducing the velocity of the stream, so once we reduce the velocity of the stream, it will undergo the under influence of gravity. So then automatically the particles present within the air will get settled at the bottom of the chamber, or will get settled at the bottom of the tank. So then we can collect it and then we can analyze it. So that is called as sedimentation. So the core settleable particulate matter of size greater than 10 microns in diameter can settle out under the influence of gravity or under the influence of gravitational force. So the dust fall jar or container is preferred device for the collection of bigger particles. So it means in this process, it means the sedimentation process, we can collect the particles whose size is greater than 10 microns. This is the important point we have to remember here. And in previous, it means in previous filtration process, we can separate the particles whose size is less than 0.1 microns. In sedimentation process, we can separate the particles or we can collect the particles whose size is greater than 10 microns. And next process is impingement. Impingement is in this method, the particulates in the high velocity air, it means in this method, the particulates in the high velocity air stream is made to collide with an obstacle in an impinger so that the air stream is deflected after striking the obstacle. So in this method, there are two types of impingers will be used. First one is the dry impinger and next one is the wet impinger. The particulates in the high velocity air stream strike the obstacle, which is a solid with adhesive surface. In wet impinger, the particulates in high velocity air stream strike the obstacle placed in a liquid so that the particulates are trapped in the liquid medium. So it means generally we have discussed that what is the impinger and what are the, it means generally the impingers are also called as inertial separators or inertial collectors. So in inertial collectors, we have seen that baffle type separator, baffle type separator or baffle type collector. So in baffle type collector, what we have seen, there will be a chamber, there will be a chamber, it is a chamber, just to imagine this as a chamber. In this chamber, number of walls will be there like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So like this. And here the polluted air enters into the chamber, from here. So the polluted air, once it entered into the chamber, from it the polluted air enters here. After that, there is a baffle type separator, means number of obstacles is there within the flow of the air. So it means once the air entered here, it will flow here. After that it will flow, 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 and from here it can exit. There will be an exit. So but the air can flow by phasing or by moving over the obstacles, but the particulate matter or the particles present within the airflow, they cannot move. It means they cannot move like air. It means they can strike in over the surface of the obstacles, and then they can settle down on or, and then they can deposit it at the bottom. That's it. So this is a type of technique. It means to separate or to collect the particulate matter from the pollutant air stream. So this equipment is called as a biofilm type separator, and the process is called as impingement or inertial collection. And the equipment and the unit generally is called as impinger or inertial collector. That's it. So under in dry impingers, this is the process is going to happen, and in wet impinger, there will be a long tower like this. The tower is called as a scrubbing or scrubber, and at the top a pipe will be there. To the pipe, number of nozzles will be there. Through the nozzles, we sprinkle the liquid to down. It means the liquid through the nozzles, the liquid will move in downward direction. And after that, at the bottom, one inlet will be there. Through that inlet, the polluted air will be entered. After the entered polluted air will move in upward direction. So when the liquid, it means the liquid droplets which are sprayed or which are sprinkled within the chamber at the top, they will move in downward direction, and the pollutant gases entered within the chamber will move in upward direction. So when the droplets moving in downward direction, the particulates within the air, they are moving in upward direction, and then they will strike the droplets. It means here also some impingement is taking place in between the particulates and the liquid droplets. So then when the particulates will impinge the liquid droplets, the liquid droplets will hold the particulate matter, and then it will move to the down. It means it will move towards the downwards. So it means here also the particulate matter gets impinged by the droplets and then move to the down along with the droplets. So this is the process happening in wet impingers. So in this type, the particulates in the high velocity airstream strike the obstacle placed in a liquids, so that the particulates are trapped in the liquid medium. So this is about impingement process. In this, we will use dry impinger and wet impinger. In dry impinger, we will use a number of obstacles to the flow of the gas stream, and in wet impinger, we use liquid droplets to correct the particulate matter. Next one is the impaction. Impactors are the devices in which air is forced to pass through small holes and strike against another solid surface plate with smaller holes. A cascade impactor consists of several such plates with progressive decrease in size of holes. The airstream passing through each plate impinges at an increased velocity. The coarse particulate matter is separated at the first stage, and the finer particles are separated at the latter stage. The particulate matter deposited at each stage is collected, and the total weight and chemical composition is determined. And the equipment used for this process is called as cascade impactor. Cascade impactor. This is a simple that in this a chamber will be there. Within the chamber, number of plates will be placed, and each and every plate contains number of holes like this. Holes, each and every plate contains holes, and we will allow the polluted air to move through the chamber and it will move through the plates. So, and the air will move through the holes holes of the plates, and the particulates will be deposited in the, or the particulates will be held by the holes, or they can, it means they can retain within the holes. So this is a type of technique to collect the particulates. So this is not that much efficient, and some rare cases it will be used. Next one is the electrostatic precipitator. In electrostatic precipitators, also known as electrostatic air cleaners, these are special devices used in general air cleaning system in industrial operations, which produce exhaust gases containing dust, fly ash, fumes, and mist. They are also called, it means they are so called because electrostatic forces separate the dust particles from the exhaust gases. Such devices are efficient enough to collect particles in size of 0.1 microns to 10 microns. So this is the important one we have to remember here, which is the electrostatic precipitators can separate the particles or can collect the particles whose size is in between 0.1 to 10 microns. And whenever we need to use the electrostatic precipitator for the sampling or for the collection of particulate matter, this process needs some pre-treatment like filtration. Sorry, this process needs some pre-treatment like, yeah, filtration it needs, and also it needs some settling chamber, it means like sedimentation it needs. Without undergoing, without pre-treating the sample with the sedimentation and the filtration, we should not allow the sample to treat with the, or to collect the particulate matter from the sample by using electrostatic precipitator. Next one is the thermal precipitation. As I told you, this is a some technique which is used to improve the sedimentation process. That's it. So this involves the use of thermal gradient to collect the particulate matter. The device thermal precipitator consists of two adjacent surfaces with a strong temperature gradient. The air stream is made to flow in between the two surfaces at a slow rate of at slow rate of flow rate of 10 to 25 milliliters per minute. That is not slow flow. So the air stream is made to flow in between the two surfaces at flow rate of 10 to 25 milliliters per minute. It means we are reducing the velocity of the flow here, and also we are reducing the rate of flow here. Only we are reducing the velocity only to increase the sedimentation. And the particulate matter in air gets deposited on the colder region of the plates. The accumulated particulates in the collection area is sent for further microscopic analysis for the number of particles and morphological characteristics. It means I will explain you. In these two plates will be there like that. One plate contains high temperature and another plate contains low temperature. And whenever we allow the air to pass through it, automatically we know that the air will always move from higher temperature to lower temperature. So then automatically by reduced velocity and the lower temperature at the bottom, the air move towards the bottom. So then automatically the particulates within the air air stream will be settled at the bottom, because at the bottom the temperature is low. That is the technique we are going to see here. Sorry, we are going to use here. Thank you. In this session we have seen that monitoring of standard particulate matter. It means how to collect the particulate matter, and after that we will measure the size of the particulate matter by using microscope. That's it. After the collection of particulate matter by using all these techniques, we will measure the size of the collected particulate matter by using microscope. So that's it. Only that is the these are all the process involved in the these are all the techniques which are used for the monitoring of particulate matter. By using all these techniques, we can collect the particulate matter. After the collection of particulate matter, we have to measure the size of particles, collected particles, by using microscope. That's it. If the size of the particulate matter around 2.5 microns, it will be called as 2.5 PM 2.5, and if the size of particulate matter around 10 microns, that will be called as PM10. It means the um, the large number of particles whose size is around 2.5, then that particulate matter is called as 2.5, and if the large number of particles whose size is around 10 microns, then that particulate matter is called as PM10. That's it. So this is about monitoring of standard particulate matter. Thank you. Thank you.